Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm the Jaywalker. Today, ghost story for a Saturday, Tales from the Brick Bungalow. Got two stories here today. Neither of them are mine. One of them is coming from my wife. One of them is coming from my son, or our son. Let's go in the Jaywalk. So, first story. We'll go with my wife's story first. So this was, both of them happened last week. My son had gone to work. He works real early mornings at Vasa Gym. He goes in really early in the morning, so he's out the door like about 4:30 in the morning. One day after he leaves, I'd gotten up, had gone to the stores still fairly early, like 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. I got to the store to pick up something. My wife was still hanging out, just hanging out in bed. Our son has a dog. And so I left him out in the family room. Got like a baby gate, but he just hangs out in the living room kind of during those times, and so as my wife's hanging out, he's fairly protective. Will start barking if he happens to notice people walking past, riding past on bikes. He'll be up at the windows barking. And so it's just my wife at home at this point. Our daughters have gone on a camping trip with the church group. The son was at work. I was at the store, like I mentioned. And my wife's hanging out. All of a sudden, the dog starts barking. She hears what sounds like one of our girls, who again are gone, yelling at the dog to shut up. Atlas, knock it off! That was it. He stops barking, lays back down. No further problems from him. No one there to do that. Story 2. This one comes from our son. As I mentioned, he goes to work really early in the morning. With that, he's 19. He's a boy. He likes to sleep a lot. And so, again, this was last week. This was the day after, or maybe 2 days after the yelling at the dog. But he's got like a little hangout space down here in the creepy basement, just across the way from my little filming area here. And he'll hang out down here. There's times where he'll fall asleep down here at night. It happens, no big deal. He's 19, as long as he gets up to go to work, we're usually not too worried about it. Then it happened last week. And as he got up at 4 o'clock in the morning or so, right about in there to get ready to go to work, he's awake. He's got his dog with him, and the dog's still asleep, but my son starts hearing the sound of like a bouncing ball, like a red rubber bouncy ball just kind of dropped, like somebody is sitting on the floor and just dropping a bouncing ball. Just tick, 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 just just over and over and over again for, he said, probably 3 to 5 minutes, and he's just listening to this ball being bounced on the ceiling of the basement floor upstairs for like 5 minutes. And he's like, what the heck is going on? It could be a cat, but shouldn't be a cat picking up and, dropping a ball. I mean, our cats aren't that, aren't that well trained, and we don't really have any bouncy balls out there for them to do that with. And they probably would have gotten bored with it within just a time or two. But he said it went on for like 3 to 5 minutes, just kept going and going and going. So he, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. My wife and I are still asleep. Dog's asleep. Again, our daughters are still away on their camping trip. It's not them. Not awake at 4 o'clock in the morning. They're a little older. They're definitely older. They're not going to be sitting on the floor dropping a ball for 5 minutes. So he was being pretty quiet. He was starting to move around, just so he can get ready for work, being careful not to wake up the dog, but he's sitting there listening to this ball being dropped. Finally gets up, gets the dog up. The ball, I think it was maybe been in mid-drop, mid-bounce. It stops as soon as the dog gets up and they're moving. He goes up. Of course, there's no one there. No one hanging around. Nobody, nothing there that should have been dropped. No, not even a ball hanging around that would have been making that noise. Those are today's stories. Thanks for joining me on today's Jaywalk. Give me a subscribe if you like this. Hit the like button. It helps me out. Let's share it with your friends. Let's get this growing. We'll see you soon. Thanks for joining me on the Jaywalk.